Wednesday against the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board to conduct supplementary UTME for 67 candidates. The National Broadcasting Commission to sanction journalist flaunting codes. And on the foreign scene, Britain and the world bids farewell to Queen Elizabeth II.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today's the 19th of September 2022, which is equivalent to the 22nd of Safar 1444 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The National Industrial Court has fixed Wednesday, September 21st to rule on the application for an interlocutory injunction filed by the federal government against the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Justice Peter Hammam fixed the date today after the lead counsel to the federal government, James Igwe, argued his application seeking an order of the court restraining ASU from further continuing with the ongoing nationwide strike. The government had approached the court to challenge the ongoing industrial action by the university lecturers. But the court at the previous sitting last Friday adjourned the suit until Monday, September 19th, to hear the interlocutory injunction of the government. Igwe had asked the court to give the suit an accelerated hearing due to the urgency of the matter to enable students to return to school. He stated that since the matter was already in court, it would be proper for the strike to be called off pending the determination of the suit. But counsel to the Academic Staff Union of Universities and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, said the union was currently meeting with stakeholders to ensure that the matter was resolved and appealed to the government to cooperate with the union to resolve the issue. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, said it will conduct a supplementary unified tertiary matriculation examination for 67 candidates on Saturday, September 24th, 2022. Head of JAM Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, said this in a statement today in Abuja. It said that the examination is for 67 candidates who had registered for the 2022 UTME but who could neither sit the examination nor take the just concluded mop-up owing to one challenge or the other. After the 2022 UTME, the board reviewed the entire exercise, and those candidates with biometric challenges were given the opportunity of sitting a mop-up examination. JAM also announced that since the conduct of a mop-up examination is a stopgap measure, it would not be allowed to be a permanent feature of its calendar. A federal high court in Abuja today dismissed a fundamental rights of enforcement suit filed by the detained Islamic cleric Sheikh Abdul Jabbar Kabara against the Kano state government and another over alleged blasphemy. Justice Emeka Nwite in a judgment dismissed the suit on the grounds that it was an abuse of court process, having filed similar matter before a federal high court sitting in Kano. Nwite held that the attempt by counsel to the cleric, Shehu, then had an attempt by the counsel to the cleric, Shehu, then had to ingeniously make the instant suit look different from the one before Kano court, was clearly an abuse of court and process and condemnable. Reports say that Kabara, through his counsel, had to sued the Upper Sharia Court Ofer Kudu in Kano and Kano state government as first and second respondents, respectively. In the originating motion dated and filed July 25th, the cleric sought an order enforcing his fundamental human rights by moving to the court for the purpose of it being quashed and quashed the charge and the entire proceedings of the Sharia court against him being conducted against him constitutional rights to fair hearing. He also prayed for an order quashing the charge being conducted against his constitutional right to personal liberty. And on the sporting arena, Nottingham Forest striker Emmanuel Dennis has been called up to replace Henry Onyekuru in Nigeria's squad for the friendly against Algeria after the latter sustained an injury in Adana Demirspor's 3-0 victory over Antalyaspor on Saturday. Mamasan Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
The friendly game between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Algeria is built for the Milot Hadefi Olympic Stadium in Oran on September 26. Henry Onyekuru was subbed off at halftime due to a knock at Antalyaspor. This came after Valentine Ozongofo had also replaced Liam Balogun in the squad. Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesero named a strong 25-man squad for the game against the Foxes. In another update, La Liga has condemned hate speech and says it will work with authorities after report of racists chanting towards Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. Real won 2-1 at Atletico Madrid last night, and some opposing fans allegedly sang racist songs when entering the ground. This comes after Vinicius said the happiness of a black Brazilian in Europe was behind recent criticism. Meanwhile, former Chelsea midfielder Andy Townsend and former Newcastle striker Alan Shearer have predicted that Arsenal fairy tale season will end soon. It could be recalled that the Gunners returned to the top of the Premier League table with a 3-0 win over Brentford yesterday. And on tennis, world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz ensured Spain advanced to the Davis Cup final knockout stage when he defeated Sumu Kon 6-4, 7-6 to move the former champion into a 2-0 lead against South Korea in Valencia. The 19-year-old Alcaraz, who captured his maiden Grand Slam title at the US Open last week, lost against Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime on Friday. However, Alcaraz saved all 3 break points he faced against Kohn to bounce back. Muhammad Sanu Uba, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com. Welcome back. You're still listening to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has urged broadcasters, anchors of political programs across the country to be tolerant, responsible, and professional in their undertaking and adhere to the NBC Code or face sanctions. The Director General of the Commission, Balarabe Shehu Ilila, stated this today during the Sensitization Forum for Political Broadcasts of the 2023 campaign. Ilila called on broadcasters to desist from hate speech, fake news, among other wrong acts, while discharging their duties.
The Commission expressed broadcasters to give equal access and opportunities to all political players, which is the political parties and candidates. This is in addition to ensuring equity in airtime allocation and coverage of political parties' activities. At this juncture, permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to remind broadcasters to desist from any form of hate speech, fake news, derogatory or divisive remarks, and any incendiary broadcast.
While declaring the program open, the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, commended the NBC for the foresight of organizing such a program and calls on the media to be professional in their campaign's coverage.
Us to be conscious, mindful, and accountable, and help in stabilizing the country through responsible journalism. As campaigns begin for the 2023 general elections, I call on media to be professional and responsible in their campaigns coverage. Therefore, I wish you will spare your time to go around the state and steal yourself the modest achievements recorded by this administration.
Correspondent Zara Unasir reports that the sensitization program was attended by various stakeholders in the media industry. And on the foreign scene, Britain says farewell to Queen Elizabeth II today at a state funeral attended by world leaders before a historic last ceremonial journey through the streets of London packed with sorrowful mourners. Abdurrahman Hamson Namadina reports.
Huge crowds gathered in near silence to watch as the Queen's flat-draped coffin, topped with the imperial state crown. Her scepter was carried slowly to a gun carriage from Parliament Westminster Hall, where he had lain in state since Wednesday. To the tune of fifes and drums, the gun carriage, used every state funeral since Queen Victoria's in 1901, was then drowned by 142 junior enlisted sailors in the Royal Navy to Westminster Abbey. The 1,000-year-old church tenor bell tolled 96 times at 1 minute interval, one for every year of her life, stopping a minute before the service began at 11 a.m. London time. Meanwhile, the Al Jazeera journalist Ahmed Al-Najji has been released by Egyptian authorities after spending over 2 years in detention without going on trial. Al-Najji, who works with Al Jazeera Mubashir, the Arabic language live television unit of Qatar-based network, was released on Sunday. He had been detained since August 2020. Al-Najji said he suffers from diabetes, hypertension and other chronic conditions, and that he was denied healthcare during the initial period of his time in prison, making it very difficult. The journalist added that he had only appeared before the Egyptian judiciary 3 times during his detention without being given the chance to make any statements. Egypt has been criticized by human rights groups for crackdowns on journalists and the opposition. Abdurrahman Hamisna Medina, Freedom Radio.
And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. The National Industrial Court has fixed Wednesday, September 21st, to rule on the application for an interlocutory injunction filed by the federal government against the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, said it will conduct a supplementary Unified Tertiary Matriculation examination for 67 candidates on Saturday, September 24th, 2022.
Freedom Global News.
The National Broadcasting Commission has urged broadcasters, anchors of political programs across the country to be tolerant, responsible, and professional in their undertaking and adhere to the NBC Code or face sanctions. And on the foreign scene, Britain says farewell to Queen Elizabeth II today at a state funeral attended by world leaders before a historic last ceremonial journey through the streets of London packed with sorrowful mourners.
This is Freedom.
On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.